Welcome back. You're watching Morning Live. Thank you for staying with us. Now, the one-man act Defending the Caveman will spend the rest of the year at Monte Casino, considered one of South Africa's best solo comedies. Defending the Caveman explores the difficulties of romance and relationships in a very comedic way. As one of the country's longest-running and most successful solo comedies, this tongue-in-cheek show will form part of Parker's Comedy and Jive at Monte Casino in Johannesburg. To tell us more about the production, if you haven't heard it, if you live under a rock somewhere, well, we're joined by the hilarious man himself, Tim Pluman, who joins us. Tim, thank you very much for joining us again.
It's my absolute pleasure. Good
morning.
morning.
It's always a pleasure to interview you once a year, because I always know we are coming towards the end of the year if we're talking to you. Okay, I don't think there's anybody in South Africa or under a rock who doesn't know what Defending the Caveman is all about, but for the same rigmarole, let's maybe just give them what is it about, for those that still to this day don't know about it.
Well, I continually go back to the saying that was said to me. So I got... after the show one evening, I walked out into the foyer, and this guy grabbed me, and he said, I want to tell you this. He said, anybody that's in a relationship, or anybody who hopes to be in a relationship, or anybody who even thinks that they've been in a relationship, must come and see the show, because then they'll understand relationship.
So I would love to have a panel discussion between you and Sue Hickey. I think it could be really interesting. We just had a book about affairs. Yeah. You know, the show has been so successful, and it has resonated with so many different people. Have you seen over the years of doing this show? I mean, we always talk to artists, and they say no show is the same because the audience is different. Yeah. But have you seen a change in the type of audience that's coming through the door?
Well, you know, the great thing about Caveman is that it happens for people at an age. When you get into relationships, when you actually, I mean, serious relationships, suddenly Caveman becomes applicable. And what I've noticed is the change of fashion over the years. Really, it's how people dress when they come to the theatre, more than anything else. How they love the show has remained the same. And the really funny thing is that I have people now who come back, who see the show 10 times, and they sort of come every year. Every year they come and they see Caveman.
It's kind of
part of their ritual thing, you know. And they're the ones who keep talking to me about how I've adapted the show to keep up with modern times, you know, so like, you know, cell phones and all that sort of stuff. And they notice that changes. The younger guys who are coming in are just floored by the knowledge that it gives them, besides laughing at it. I had a guy last week on Sunday come up to me and hug me after the show because he was going home to divorce his wife, and now he had seen the show and he understood why, and now he was no longer doing it. I mean, that sort of story,
so you're keeping relationships together.
That sort of thing was fantastic for me.
There's something interesting you've mentioned, that you've adapted the show consciously to keep up with the times.
Yeah.
What is something that, I don't know if you could speak about it consciously or subconsciously or refer to it on that level, that you couldn't have touched 10 years ago that you can talk about now?
Cell phones.
Okay.
Something as simple as a cell phone. 10 years ago, cell phones, you know, not much. Text messaging was not a thing 10 years ago.
Sexting wasn't a thing.
Sexting wasn't a thing 10 years ago. Now, today, suddenly, how many women change and use the And I'll tell you, I mean, you'll get an SMS from your better half going, I've just gone past a new restaurant on the corner called Thai Confusion. It looks lovely. It's full of greens and golds and purples. And the man who runs it, very nice. I think he's got a great smile. And our menu's full of broccoli and cabbage and cauliflower. Maybe we can make an evening of it. How do you feel? Tell me how you feel. I'm right here. I can book. You could wear your blue suit. I'll wear my yellow dress. How do you feel? How do you feel? You know, and he sends back smiley face. That's the different ways we use that.
So you communicate.
So we communicate now in a different way. We do things differently, and we have to bring it in. I mean, for example, right now, at this very moment, I'm going to take a photograph of you sitting here at SABC. There you go. Very cool. Very cool.
Did it. Okay, cool. You know, one of the things we talk about audiences and writing scripts and changing narratives and those kind of things. What keeps it fresh for you, though? Because you've done the show for so long. You probably kind of mention it. You probably run through the lines in your sleep.
I tell you what keeps it fresh for me is that every time I see a new audience and I see what their faces are doing. You know, when you come out and you can actually make a genuine impact on a crowd of people is one thing. But when you see the genuine impact happening between these 3 people sitting or 4 people sitting here, and you see them nudging each other, going, you see. When you see that kind of excitement, you can't help but give it its freshness.
Has relationships changed?
No.
Because you constantly have to keep up with new trends and little things.
We keep up with trends. What is so fascinating is that really the relationship and the troubles we see in relationships really haven't changed at their core very much. We're still men and women.
Yeah.
And so the way we see the world, the way we operate in the world, men are hunters, women are gatherers. And so that is a basic difference, if you like. Not that one's better than the other. And that's the great point about Caveman, is that what it proves is that we're different, equal, but different.
Has comedy changed? Do you find the comedic timing things or spots in the same place, or does that also kind of depend on the audiences? You find something that last night might have been funny, doesn't work, but the next thing is funny?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, that's one of the things about the art of comedy and the art of doing a theatre, is that you have to adapt to this audience. Because every night is different. So this audience will find things that are slightly different or slightly funny. And sometimes you lose a joke. You lose a gag, and you don't know why you lose a gag. And my great mentor, Rex Garner, who was perhaps the best in the business, Rex, he said to me, look, it's a very simple rule. Very simple. If you lose a gag, just say the words. Don't try and make it funny. Just say the words, because the words will be funny.
Quick question, yes or no? Are you a comedian now?
I'm an actor.
Okay, I'm going to leave it there. Legend, icon, Tim Plewman in studio with us, talking about Defending the Caveman. It's at Monte Casino. It's at,
and it's on at the Victory Theatre in December. So Monty now, every Sunday.
Yeah.
And at the Victory Theatre in Houghton on Wednesdays, Fridays, Saturdays in December, until December 31st.
Okay, there's no excuse, and you can Google the details if you want to find out more. We take an ad break, don't go anywhere.